Let's talk about tuple methods or functions. So in this lesson, we've covered lists. Now remember, lists are mutable, changeable. Tuples are immutable. Because lists are changeable, there are methods in class list, which are functions, which manipulate lists. So there is a reason to permanently manipulate lists, but there isn't one to do the same to tuples. So by these tuple methods, I will actually be bringing in general Python methods that work on iterables. So there is that small distinction between list and tuple methods in this lesson. So let's get started. First up, we have any. Any essentially checks if there's anything in a particular tuple. So we have pets, cat, dog, horse. If we say any pets, that is going to return true. If that was a blank tuple, that would return false. However, there's a couple more nuances to this. So namely, any doesn't quite treat zeros and false booleans the same way. But we're going to look at that inside the programming tutorial coming up. Next, count. Now, counts the number of occurrences of a particular item inside a tuple. So if we have pets, cat, dog, horse, you can pets.count cat, and there's one occurrence. Next is minimum. Returns the smallest element. Now, the smallest element in numbers is obviously the smallest number, but in strings, it's kind of more interesting. It's the one with the sort of lowest alphabetical order. So C, D, H, C is the lowest, so cat is the lowest. By that virtue, max would be the highest, H, so max of pets is going to return horse. Length returns the number of elements that are inside a tuple, so that pets tuple has 3 elements, length pets is... Alright, let's have a look at these tuple methods in code. In this video, we're going to have a look at methods that can be used with tuples. Namely, we're going to look at any, .count, min, max, and length. So here we got 3 tuples. One's pets, one's numbers, one's aliens. The alien ones is empty for a reason. So we're going to start with any. And as I described before, any basically checks if the tuple is empty or not, but it has certain exceptions. So if we print any pets, that should return true. Likewise, if we print any numbers, that should be true, while any aliens, since aliens is empty, should be false. So we should get true, true, false. Excellent. But let's play with this a little bit. Let's put 0 in the aliens. It's still false. Let's put the word false. Aliens is still false. So basically, it checks if anything is present, but these two are the exceptions for what is being checked. So next, let's have a look at .count. Now this is the same as .count in lists, .count in strings, .count in tuples works exactly the same way. So this should be pretty straightforward. Print anything .count. So numbers .count 5. You get 1. Print numbers .count 6. That should be 0. So the minimum is going to either follow the alphabetic order if the tuple is full of strings, or the numerical order. So let's have a look at this. So the minimum of numbers should be 1, but the minimum of pets should be cat. Now, we can play around and find out, in terms of ranking, if you were to add numbers and pets, what goes first? The numbers or the letters? I imagine it's the numbers. So we can say plus pets. Not supported. So you cannot actually use minimum in a mixed or heterogeneous tuple. Something to learn there. Now, next we have max and then length. So the max is obviously going to be the biggest number. So that's going to be max numbers. That will be 5. The max of pets would be horse. And finally, we can check the length. Now, even the most interesting one there is going to be aliens, because any aliens is false. These are treated as nothing. But if we actually did len, you would see that these are treated as items. Likewise, the length of numbers would be 5, pets would be 3. I'm just going to demonstrate pets here, so we're going to get 3. Alright, so that demonstrates some functions that work with tuples like any, .count, min, max, and length.